YouTube! So I hope everyone had a great Christmas holiday. Today I am going to be talking about the most important thing you can do for your nutrition. And I'm going to try to make it super fast because my last take was extremely long and I'm redoing the whole thing. Um, but the most important thing you can do for your nutrition is simply to track everything you eat. So to track every item you eat for the day and to track the calories in those items, add them up, and the proteins, the carbs, and the fats, or the macronutrients. And we do this because it will basically make you an amateur nutritionist. You basically become an amateur nutritionist because when you track everything you eat, you start to learn the macronutrients within certain foods, and on your own, you start to make better choices. Also, it's a very good thing to hold you accountable. In my opinion, I think everyone should track everything they eat strictly for about 3 to 6 months at some point in their life. So it's not something you do forever. It's something you usually get into the habit of when you have a serious goal ahead of you. But I think everyone should do it at some point just to learn about the foods they put in their bodies. And a lot of clients will come up to me and they'll be like, I want to lose, 30 pounds in 2 weeks, which will never happen, but they want that and they're like, I'll do the most serious nutrition plan you got. And just by looking at them and just by assessing them, you can tell they're not very disciplined. And so what I'll usually do is just to have them track the foods they're eating currently. And so they get to learn about food and they get to build good habits. Because someone who's never done a nutrition plan is not going to be very good diving headfirst into it without learning how to track just basic numbers, basic calories, proteins, carbs, and fats. And what it does is a lot of these clients get just as good of results as ones that are on a serious nutrition plan because it holds you accountable and there's no sort of deadline or sort of a due date you have to hit. With some serious nutrition plans, you have to cut carbs for the day, cut carbs for the night, raise your proteins on these days, eat certain foods on your training days, eat certain foods on your rest days, and so it becomes very strict. But some of these clients who they just simply just track what they eat, they get phenomenal results because when you have what you ate staring you in the face at the end of the day, that's going to hold you accountable. When you look at everything you ate and you see that you ate 2 biscuits in the morning, 3 muffins for lunch, and 6 donuts after dinner, that's gonna hold you accountable. The very next day, you might make a very small improvement and eat, 2 biscuits in the morning, three, what did I say, muffins at lunch, and this time only 5 donuts. But they start to build these good habits, and because it's staring them in the face, they want to improve. And that's super important because I think it's really cool when they do this because it's not something where they're forced to cut out, certain foods right away. They're not forced to follow a strict macro ratio that they have to abide by. But just by certain foods staring them in the face, they can tell themselves, hey, maybe I shouldn't eat, 8 donuts in a day or 10 scoops of ice cream after lunch. And they start to plan things and prioritize things on their own that doesn't take a nutrition plan to do it. That's how you get good results, is you build good habits and you start, the very foundation of nutrition is to start by tracking what you're eating. And so if you're looking for some miracle nutrition plan out there that's gonna help you, but you've never tracked your food, you've never tracked your calorie intake or your macronutrient ratios, then you're not gonna, be successful even with the best nutrition plan because you're not disciplined enough to start tracking. And so once you start tracking, you become, again, an amateur nutritionist is what I like to call it, because you start learning about foods and you start being able to plan your own intake of food. You begin to go to restaurants and say, hey, I'm gonna order this instead. It's just as satisfying, but it has half the calories. You start to do things like that. You start to plan your mornings, your lunch, so maybe every now and again you can have that ice cream at night that you've longed for. And so I want to leave you guys with that. That is the very most important thing you can do for your nutrition is to track. It's not something you do forever, but if you've never done it, start planning now because we track everything. We track our finances, we track our children's grades, we track everything that's important. And so we should be tracking what we put in our bodies. And so I'm gonna leave you guys with that. I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I am signing out from Calvin Huynh Fitness. Please subscribe to my channel. Peace.